I'm 92 years old. The good Lord has let me live this long, and I've seen more than most people could ever imagine. I've watched children grow into parents. I've buried friends I swore would outlive me. I've held hands, lost hands, and held myself together in ways I never thought I could. And now, sitting here in this quiet house, I need to tell you something before I go. Something I've carried for decades, something I wish I had said sooner. I've spent almost a century chasing work, chasing approval, chasing the idea of being enough, and I didn't see what mattered until it was almost too late. So listen carefully. I'm 92, and if you only take one thing from me, let it be this. Life isn't about what you achieve. It's about who you are with while you're alive. I was born in 1933 in a small town in Missouri. My father was a carpenter, my mother a school teacher. We didn't have much, but what we had mattered: a warm home, a steady roof, a kitchen that smelled like bread and cornbread and coffee every morning. My parents worked hard, and they taught me that a man's worth was measured by what he could provide, by how much he could build, by how hard he could work. I took that lesson to heart, probably too hard. I married Ruth when I was 24. She was bright, stubborn, and had a laugh that could fill a room even when the room was empty. I loved her from the first moment I saw her, though I was too young and too busy to understand what loving really meant. We didn't have a lot. Our first apartment was above a dry cleaner's shop, the stove smoking more than it cooked, the windows drafty in winter, but we had each other. For a while, that was enough. I worked long hours, far too long. I would come home exhausted, drop my briefcase, and nod to Ruth, who would be knitting or reading. We barely spoke some nights. I didn't notice the lines growing around her eyes, or the way her shoulders slumped under the weight of all the things I didn't help carry. I thought work was enough. It wasn't. Our first child, David, was born when I was 26. I remember the first night home from the hospital. I held him once, then left him in the crib because I was tired. I thought I was doing the right thing, letting Ruth handle it. Later, when I went back to the bedroom, I watched them sleeping, and I felt a pang of guilt I didn't understand at the time. That pang grew over the years. I missed his first words. I missed his first steps. I missed games, recitals, little moments I told myself I'd make up for later. There was never a later. Michael came 2 years later. By then, I had started my own business. I thought I was doing well. I thought I was building a legacy. I thought I was proving myself. I traveled, worked nights, checked invoices on the way to his baseball games, and missed every chance to simply be there. I remember one afternoon when Michael was 8, he ran circles around the yard asking me to watch him. I was distracted, counting papers, thinking about bills. He stopped out of breath and asked, "Dad, did you see that?" I nodded absent-mindedly. He ran again. I still didn't look. I still didn't stop. I think about that day more than most, not because he was a bad kid, he wasn't, but because I was absent. I wasn't there, and absence leaves marks you can't erase. I've buried people, friends, family, people I thought would live forever. Ruth was 83 when she passed. I had spent decades thinking there would be more time. I had assumed she'd always be there, steady and patient and constant. When she left, the house felt too big, the quiet too loud. I still feel her in corners, in hallways, in the kitchen when the sunlight hits the floor just right. I buried Charles last year. He was my oldest friend, and we'd known each other for 70 years. Baseball, fishing, long conversations that lasted into the night. We disagreed, sometimes fiercely, but we always came back to the table together. When he died, the silence he left behind reminded me how fragile life really is, how easily it slips away without notice. I've spent a lifetime learning the same lesson over and over. Presence matters more than achievement, more than ambition, more than anything else you think is important. You can work hard, you can save, you can provide, and still miss the moments that make a life. The first recital, the first game, the first hug that lasts longer than a second. Those moments can't be bought, they can't be postponed. There's a Sunday morning I remember from when David was 8. He wanted me to watch him run around the yard. I was checking mail, distracted, thinking about work. He ran past me 3 times before I even noticed. He stopped, panting, and said, "Dad, did you see that?" And I nodded absently. That memory sticks because it reminds me of everything I missed while I was busy chasing life instead of living it. I worked hard because I believed a man's worth was in what he produced. I believed that respect came from accomplishment, and it did in a way. I was proud of the house we built, the business I started, the money I earned. But none of that could replace Ruth's presence, the children's laughter, the quiet mornings when just being together mattered. I've learned to savor mornings now. I wake up, make my coffee, and sit by the window. I watch birds flit across the yard. I listen to the wind rustling through the trees. I hear the distant hum of traffic. I think about all the people I've loved, all the friends and family I've lost, all the words I wish I'd said. I let myself feel it. I let myself grieve. And I let myself be grateful that I'm still here, still able to share these thoughts with you. I regret a lot. Not for the life I built. It was good. I regret the hours I didn't spend at the table. I regret the games I didn't watch, the stories I didn't hear, the hands I didn't hold. I regret thinking there would always be a later, a time to make up for lost moments. Later never comes. When I was 78, I had a severe case of pneumonia. I was weak, bedridden, and Michael came to sit with me. He didn't say much, he just held my hand. We sat together for hours, and I realized something I should have known all along. The greatest gift you can give anyone is presence. You don't need to fix, advise, or provide. Just being there, quietly, fully, is more than enough. I've learned to write letters now, handwritten letters, because they feel real, permanent. I write to my children, my grandchildren. I tell them the things I should have said years ago. I apologize for the times I wasn't there. I thank them for the times they were. Some write back, some don't. But the act of reaching out keeps me connected to what matters. I think about work a lot too, and how much time I wasted believing it was the most important thing. I remember the nights I stayed late at the office while my children waited for me at home. I remember thinking that my absence would be unnoticed or at least forgiven. It wasn't. The moments I missed didn't come back. The games, the recitals, the quiet dinners, gone. And for all the awards I earned, none of them filled those empty spaces. I've loved, I've grieved, I've rejoiced, I've made mistakes, I've tried again, and I've learned that none of it matters as much as being fully present in the small, ordinary, overlooked moments, sitting on the porch watching the sun rise, listening to someone tell a story you've heard 100 times but hearing it as if for the first time, holding hands and staying quiet because words aren't needed. These are the things that last. I sit here now, 92 years old, and I can feel my time slipping. My body is slower. My hands shake. My vision blurs sometimes. And yet I am grateful. Grateful to remember. Grateful to feel. Grateful to share these thoughts with you, because if there's one thing I want you to take away, it's this: don't wait. Don't wait for the right moment to tell someone you love them. Don't wait to sit at the table. Don't wait to listen. Don't wait for a later that may never come. The work will wait. The bills will wait. The meetings will wait. The appointments, the deadlines, the endless list of shoulds, all of it will wait. But people, moments, love, they won't. They pass by quietly while you're distracted. They slip through your fingers while you're busy proving yourself. And when they're gone, you can't get them back. I think about Ruth every day. I think about my children when they were young. I think about Charles and the friends I've lost. I think about the neighbors I watched age and pass on. And I realized that the only thing that mattered was how closely I held the people I loved while I had the chance. I've had small joys. I've had triumphs. I've had heartbreak. And all of it taught me this: life isn't about achievement, it's about attention, it's about presence, it's about showing up fully even when you think no one is watching, because the people you love notice even when they don't say it, and they remember long after you've left. I want to leave this world knowing I tried to see, to hear, to be there, tried to love even when it was hard, tried to hold on to what mattered most. And I want you to know, if you're listening, that you don't have to wait to do the same. Be present, listen, speak, hug, cry, laugh, be there fully. Don't let the work, the ambition, the endless striving keep you from the people you love. They are your real wealth. They are the moments that echo after you're gone. I'm 92. I've lived imperfectly. I've loved imperfectly. I've missed imperfectly. And I still sit at the table. I still drink my coffee slowly. I still write letters. I still watch the sun move across the floor. And I hope with every beat of my old heart that these words reach someone who needs them. Because when you reach the end, what matters isn't the house you built, the money you saved, or the titles you earned. What matters is the time you spent truly being there for the people who mattered most. That is all. That is the truth I've learned at 92, and I need you to hear it before it's too late.